I got a couple stories here in a what the fuck. Power company restricts Denver customers' thermostats over energy emergency. Now you hear the headline and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? But then you find out it is a voluntary program that you do get a credit for it and a rebate and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is, and I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. Basically, Xcel Energy in Colorado has approximately 1.3 million customers in the state and allows customers to opt into a program. Blah blah blah. Tuesday was declared an energy emergency. This is a couple days ago, and as a result, controls were stuck at about 78 degrees. Well, technically it was last week, but anyway, controls were stuck at 78 degrees for several hours with 22,000 affected customers. It was the first time in the program's 6 years that the company implemented a shutdown. An unexpected power outage in Pueblo, Colorado, rose to the company's standards of an energy emergency. The spokeswoman says it's a voluntary program, so customers are always free to opt out if the program no longer meets their needs. I get that. The problem isn't so much like this time because it was only the people that opted into the program. My thing is, how long until you're not able to opt in or opt out, I guess, of the program? How long until it's forced upon you? You hope that doesn't happen, but stuff like this, it kind of starts to lay the groundwork. It lays the foundation so that these things could happen down the road. That a company could say, hey, you're automatically opted in, and in order to opt out, you got to jump through all these hoops, hoping people won't. And then eventually it gets to the point where like you just can't opt out, period. For the climate catastrophe of the country and all this kind of shit. We'll see. I mean, maybe not. But moving on to the next story, there's a tweet here. Very, very true, very appropriate. I guess it depends on which way you take it, though, because I've heard it argued both ways, on the woke side and the anti-woke side. The moment you accept that not every piece of media was made with you in mind, you will have a much happier and healthier life. You might even find love. I'm glad a couple people agreeing. That is absolutely true. The problem is that there's people who say that about, hey, that's why, not everything's got to have, people of color and women and so on and such forth. Although, if you put it like that, it starts to become a little dicey because you're like, well, how come you don't want people of color in it? How come you don't want women? All that kind of stuff. Now, if you're talking about changing races and genders and all that stuff, that's different. Because usually I'm against that, just by and large, just in general, just as a hard and fast rule, don't do it. I think it's stupid. But anyway, I've heard it argued that from the people like with the Rings of Power show, the Lord of the Rings show, Rings of Power. I've heard some people argue, well, so what if it's different than Tolkien? It's not made with you in mind, that kind of thing. And it's like, this is a good kind of philosophy to keep in mind, though. But anyway, and then I got a story here from Weaponized Rage on Knitter.net. When the White House interns forget to change the script, I'm not putting this up to kind of be like, oh, that damn Joe Biden, Donald Trump all the way. Because I don't want to. This is regardless of whether it's pro-Biden, pro-Trump, whatever it is. It's just when the White House interns forget to change the script. And as you can see, this exact same tweet has been posted from all these different accounts. Hell, there's one with a picture on it. Instead of like a AVI, I think is what they call it, with a picture of like an anime figure or a sports guy or whatever. It's the exact same thing. Now there are a few slight differences, like in this one it mentions you deserve to be on Mount Rushmore, but it's all this. I'm a former ultra MAGA Republican, but I realized how wrong I was about you. Blah blah blah. Thank you, Godspeed, sir. All that kind of shit. It's like, and there's even more here, as you can see. Well, I guess I'll have to. But as you can see, it's the exact same thing. I mean, it's like, holy crap, man. What the fuck? Anyway, I just thought that was pretty fucking stupid. Because it's like, this is ridiculous. It's obviously bots, propaganda, bullshit. Like, come on now. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.